Welcome to Under the Silence. My name is Bianca Moeschinger, and I would have loved to have a jingle, but then I felt rather than spending all my time creating a jingle, I'd go right into the podcast. And maybe one day there'll be a jingle, but today there's not. This podcast, Under the Silence, is a space for the quiet truths. My truths that hopefully lead to your truths, or a moment to reflect upon my inner workings or my inner thinkings. So, this podcast is a space for the truths, the quiet truths, the gut feelings, the truths we carry quietly, again, beneath the surface of our lives, waiting to be acknowledged, the ones that sit below the surface in the subconscious that we hear with the bottom of our ears or the inner ear that we usually override unless we have a fabulous connection with them. Here in this podcast, we don't fix, we witness, we reflect, and we feel. I may sometimes give you a little bit of something to try and something to chew over, but I'm not here to fix. I created Under the Silence to offer a gentle, honest space where emotion meets insight and where your inner world has a place to rise and breathe. Let's begin. This is where the music is. So if you're someone who creates podcast music, hit me up. Let's do some business. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about chewing on the truth. So welcome back to Under the Silence. I'm so glad that you're here. Before I dive into today's reflection, I want to begin with something fundamental. We live in a constant conversation between mind and body. There's always feedback flowing between what we feel, what we think, and what meaning we assign to those experiences. Emotion is not just a state of mind, it's chemistry, energy in motion. It moves through the nervous system, surging through us as sensation, breath, contraction, or impulse. And when we withhold that emotional truth, when we don't speak, the thing rising in us, it doesn't vanish. It redirects. It compresses into the body. It alters the natural expansion and retraction of our energetic being. We begin to shrink inside. We hold, we protect, and in doing so, we disconnect from the aliveness that wants to flow through us. There's something I've noticed in myself over time, a pattern, a habit, a dance with discomfort. Whenever I have a gut feeling that feels intense, fiery, inflammatory, the kind that could cause a ripple or reaction, I don't speak it, not at first. Instead, I chew on it for a while and a long time. I chew on it, digest it, and sometimes I don't digest it. Sometimes it's very difficult to digest, and I chew on it some more, trying to find the balanced, mature, articulate version of it. And on one hand, that's a kind of wisdom, a desire to be thoughtful and caring. But on the other, it's a form of self-censorship, because those raw truths, they're still alive inside. When I have spoken from that place, the real, unedited, messy place, with so much power or energy behind it, it feels like a release. Like energy that's been locked in my body finally gets to move. And it is a release. It is a release because I've found it hard to hold it in, or it just comes up as a reaction, unedited and unthought. But the consequences can and have been unpredictable. The impact on others, the potential conflict, the ripple, it all feels like too much, or has been too much, due to the feedback I've received as a child, or even in my teenage and in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. So I stay quiet And then the cycle begins again. The feelings return, triggered by something seemingly unrelated, because truth doesn't just go away. It waits. That's why I created this blog, Under the Silence, not just as a podcast, but as a container. A place where the unspoken could rise safely. A place for reflection, insight, and emotional truth, rather than a battleground of attack and defense. I believe we all need spaces like this, because when we look beyond belief systems, skin color, culture, or religion, we are left with the undeniable truth. We all have the same physiology. It may act differently, and it may respond and move differently, but we all have the same physiology unless we've had something removed. We all carry a silence inside us that's screaming to be felt, heard, and acknowledged without crucifixion. We all have different ways of dealing. Some of us shout, some of us retreat, some of us think and think and think, trying to make sense of it all. And some of us defend and some of us run away. But inside, we're feeling. We're aching to be heard, not answered, to be seen, not solved. The emotional tension builds up in the body, in the heart, in the gut, and it carries a sorrow, not just for what we can't say, but for the space that's missing, the sacred space where truth can live without fear. And you know, truth is something that happens in the moment. It's our truth in that moment. And as soon as we've spoken it, that truth may change. But in that moment, our perception of our reality, how we feel, is our truth. And it's valid to us. And so as soon as we declare it or we speak it, it brings it into the ether. And then we get more information from the reaction, and our mind can be changed. And our perception of the reality can be changed because we get more feedback. But if we don't let it go, we never know. And here's the irony. The silence we choose often creates a bigger ripple than the truth we're afraid to share. And lately I've realized something in myself. While my mind is analyzing, my heart is simply waiting to be felt, waiting to be heard. And when I finally drop in, when I leave the chewing and step into feeling, everything softens. It no longer matters what I was trying to say, trying to do, trying to express. It matters that I felt it. I validated it. But life moves quickly. The moment I re-engage with my roles, the mother, the partner, the therapist, the business owner, I pick up the thread again. The to-do list, the expectations, the treadmill of doing, the chase for value, success, and worth. And so I ask myself, and maybe you're asking too, is the goal to stop? Or is it peace? Is it success? Or is it simply a happy, honest home? Maybe the real goal is to stay close to the heart and speak from there, even if the words come slowly, even if they begin in silence. Maybe that's what truth really is, not a perfect sentence, but a moment of presence. And I just want to add to that when we offer ourselves heart in our inquiry or in our analysing, we soften the harsh judgment and the critic within and the trying to be perfect. Because the heart doesn't have such expectations. It's only the mind that has the expectations. And if we express whatever we're challenged with from the heart, it will be received from the heart, the person receiving it. And they'll feel it no matter how challenging it is to express it. So thank you for being here. Outro music. For listening under the silence. If this episode stirred something in you, I invite you to pause, feel what's present, and notice what's waiting to be heard. You can explore more of my personal work at my website, biancamoeschinger.com, or dive into one of our courses, incentives, and the peak community at psychosomaticsandemotionalanatomy.com, where I co-facilitate professional training and personal development programs in psychosomatic therapy and emotional release bodywork. Whether you're here to feel more, understand more, or simply be with what is, you are welcome. Until next time, speak softly, feel fully, and return to your heart. Ciao for now.